This podcast features adult content not suitable for listeners under the age of 18. You have been warned.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klouse. Let's get started.
So, to get us back into this circumstance and back into the story, we'll start with a recap of last session. Previously, while passing through ruins in an ashen crevice, undead creatures burst out from the ground, swarming you all. Fighting past rotting stench and paralytic claws, you all defeated the creatures. Searching about as you moved through, you found the site to be named Shushdiramat, or Chain Shrine in an Infernal. Beyond this crag was a large chasm spanned by an ancient bridge. Carefully moving, the group crossed this bridge into a natural maze of crags and crevices, where you found a place to rest protected by the wind. Here, as you rested, a voice spoke up, concerned about you killing the undead creatures and offering trade in magical items and goods. The creature revealed one of its ilk to be a red-skinned imp. When the group showed no extensive interest in trading anything, a small group of imps appeared, before shooting flaming bolts, apparent signals of some kind, into the air before disappearing. Moving forward, night began to fall, and cold, icy weather moved in as you all looked for a place to rest, finding a narrow crack which led to an outlook. As you took watches, you saw the snow falling, a large flying silhouette, and the bonfires of stronghold Ustax in the distance. You estimated that you'd be there in maybe a day or so. The next day, the group pushed forward, eventually coming upon a dead elk with signs of a manicore. Nearby, there was an old but recently used shrine to Duma, the she-wolf hex goddess of the hunt. As you inspected, a rumbling sound became apparent, growing louder in your direction as you all began to run. The group rushed forward, quickly turning left and right in the various crags until they came upon a narrow pass, heavily influenced by strong winds. You get the feeling this is the place Kristoff told you about, Ogre's Breath Pass. With the rumbling quickly catching up from behind you, the wind in front of you suddenly shifts as you hear two heavy sounds in the distance in front of you as you see two tall, broad forms land up ahead of you. The wind suddenly shifts and weakens slightly as they land there, blocking some of that wind. I need all of you to go ahead and roll initiative. And I'll bring us onto the map. Right into the thick of things.
Oh, I don't know which dice I want to use. Okay, these are the new ones.
Guys, I rolled amazing on initiative. For once.
Same. My initiative's an 18.
Mine is also an 18.
Damn, so many 18s. Damn it, I don't have room. Why you guys be like that?
I rolled a 9.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it, Michael. That really clears out the way.
Looking out for you, bud.
Who has the highest dex between Ellory and Vesper?
Probably Ellory, I wouldn't say. I have a 16.
I also have a 16.
You can either pick or reroll.
You can go first.
All right.
That way, if you die, I'm right behind you.
Okay, you guys are throwing all of my shit off. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So 18, we're going to go Ellory, and then we're going to go, and I'm sure I'm going to miss this little note. So, Vesper, after Ellory goes, please don't forget to remind me. I'm writing you in here, but it's in a weird place.
Gotcha.
Amsen, 23, good God. Really good. And then I think Michael said 9 for Kalvyn.
9.
9 for Kalvyn. All right. I think I have everyone.
Katie is coming.
I think I'll go ahead and roll for her for now. While I'm pulling up her sheet and giving her a roll, Amsen, you're actually going to be up first.
Okay.
So, just to let you know, the wind is still rushing, is still heavy and thick and difficult to move in. What's your strength score?
My strength score is a whopping 10.
With a whopping 10, you're going to be at difficult terrain to move either horizontally or forward against the wind. Moving back is just normal speed. And you recognize the wind is still pretty heavy, and you're probably going to have difficulty with ranged attacks. But otherwise, you can move at half speed as you will it.
Okay, so the only thing that I can see right now is this big, gigantic...
You see two of these large, or you may not be able to see the other, but you heard two heavy doosh, doosh. See these broad creatures, probably about ball's height, around 10 feet tall, heavily. They're kind of hunched over, and even with hunched over, they're still about ball height. They're two massive creatures lugging behind them what looks like a club or maybe just a tree trunk. I'm not sure.
Actually, I can just barely see the shoulder of that one from behind the cliff face. Unfortunately, nobody's close enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move just a little bit ahead. I can move that much. I'll just get just in front of Ellory here. And then as soon as these gigantic creatures get within 60 feet, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on them, or one, depending on what I can do.
Okay, all right. So you move up, conjuring up the colored, glittery substance in your hand, preparing to release it when they come closer. That will bring us up to Wink. Wink's going to stay on Ball's shoulders because moving around is difficult, and he's going to notch that arrow and go ahead and pull it back. He's looking towards the back, but he's kind of looking over his shoulder too at these two new creatures. He's going to just notch that arrow, and if anything comes closer, he will release. That will bring us up to this guy who's going to It's going to be about right there. Amsen, is that it within your range? You can also hold it for both of them if you prefer, but this one gets about right there.
I can get that guy, but I'm going to wait for the other one.
Okay. So kind of you see him briefly drop the heavy tree trunk-like club to the ground as he pulls something back over his back and throws a javelin-like weapon in direction. That's a 19. Because it's far away, that'll be instead a 22 against... Make sure you can even hit that. Even at that second distance, it's pretty far. Yeah. He's going to see that glittery glow in Amsen in your hand. He's going to throw this javelin. That is a 22 to hit.
That does hit, but he is 70 feet away from me if he can still hit me from there.
He can, actually. It's a disadvantage, and I rolled a 19 and a 16.
Hey, okay. So yeah, that hits.
Okay. So it's 10 piercing damage. This large javelin and skins across your shoulder, ripping some of the threads that bind the armor.
Okay. Do you want me to roll something for the spell, or like to keep it?
I think you concentrated on it to hold it, if I remember right. So go ahead and roll a concentration check. I think that's right.
Which is a Constitution saving throw, correct?
Yeah, which is Constitution.
That's sadly a 6.
Well, let me look it up then, just in case, since it matters in this circumstance. If you would have rolled higher, I would look this up later. Let's see. Spells. Because this matters, I want you to get...
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head if concentration rules apply to holding a spell.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Let's see. Okay, yeah, you must maintain concentration while you're doing so. So yeah, you're holding the spell, preparing for it to release, but before you're waiting for the other one to move closer, but as you are, that javelin unexpectedly strikes through your shoulder at this pretty fair distance, causing the spell to be released in front of you. The dust ineffectually hits along the snow, this pass quickly being whipped up by the wind and pushed beyond you. That will bring us up to Ellory.
Okay, so I say, well, it looks like they aren't up for negotiating passage, and I cast Mage Armor.
Okay. So the arcane armor shimmers over your form. And did you want to move or stay where you are?
I think I will stay put.
Okay, remaining put. It's going to bring us here.
It's my turn?
Yes, Vesper, thank you for reminding me.
Okay. Well, yeah. He is not quite in my range, so I'm going to move 5, 10 up there, and, nope, 15, it looks like. And I'm going to Sacred Flame him, so he needs to make a dexterity save.
Natural 17, but brings it down to 16.
Yeah, no, that'll save.
With strange speed for a creature this size, he quickly ducks to the side as the divine radiant light strikes down from the clouds above. Unfortunately, he dodges out of the way.
And then with my bonus action, I would like to cast Spiritual Weapon. And I'm going to have it maybe 15 feet ahead of me. And I want to make like a long bow, or does it have to be like a...
It'll only be able to do the 5-foot range, but you can make it look like a longbow if you want to.
Well, I just know Ayan's favorite weapon is a bow.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, you can just have it shoot at a short range. You can however you want it to look as I'm pulling up a token.
Great, then I will actually put it next to him because it's a 60-foot range.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get this on the field.
And I make a melee spell attack. So let's see. Oh, that is a 24.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
Hell yeah. Okay. For 10 piercing damage.
10 piercing?
10 force damage. Whoops.
10 force damage, okay.
I'm thinking about yeah. Alright.
Alright, so I'm going to give... No, you are good. So this shimmering divine form of a longbow conjures forth in front of this creature, quickly drawing back, releasing this bolt of divine energy, slamming into the creature. He knocks him back about half a foot as it strikes into him. And I'm going to give you control of that as we move to the next one, and then to Ball.
You said the next one's going first, or is it me?
Nope. You hear the rumbling in the distance behind you, beneath the stone, getting closer. But Ball is currently your turn.
Okay. I will step up. What happens if I want to, like, for example, if I wanted to move somewhere where Vesper's character is standing, am I just unable to, or does it, like, bump her to the side, or?
You can't stand in her space. You can move through her space. It's difficult terrain, but you can't end your turn there.
Okay. All right, well, I'll just use the dodge action, and I guess that's as far as I can get is there. So I'll use a dodge action there.
What is your strength, Ball?
16.
Okay, with 16, because the wind is partially being blocked by these two creatures up ahead, you can move at normal speed.
Okay.
Moving forward or in any direction.
Yeah, so that's still as far as I can go. All right,
okay.
Yeah, so I'll end my turn there with the dodge action.
All right. So ending there, that will bring us up to Meli.
I would like to Ray of Frost, the same one. Yeah, that one.
Okay, he's going to have some cover from where you are because of Ball and Vesper. If you were able to move around them, it would negate some of that.
Yeah, I'll move up next to Vesper.
You should be able to move 15 feet, 5, 10, 15. Yeah, you can get there, and that'll negate the entirety of his cover. All right, so you conjure up this spear of ice in your hand, slinging it forward. And
yes.
That will hit. As it strikes into him.
So his speed is reduced by 10, and he takes 6 damage.
All right, as this creature is taking a blast from this bow, Meli, you move forward, throw this javelin of ice sticking into him. You see the ice kind of conjures up around and begins spreading down to his lower appendages. But he is forcing his way through it, though slower. That will bring us up to you, Kalvyn.
Okay. If I were to take my rapidity mutagen, which gives me an extra 15 feet of movement, would that increase it, my ability to move, or are we basing this solely on strength?
What is your strength, Kalvyn?
19.
Because the wind is partially blocked by these creatures, you can move at normal speed. If you take the mutagen, you'll have 15 plus your normal, so I think 45.
Okay. Yeah, that would be okay. Well then, as my bonus action, I will drink that, and what I wanted to do. These aren't technically. Are these technically humanoid?
They're humanoid in that they have 2 arms and 2 legs, a torso and a head.
Okay. What I want to do is I can, as for my feat skill, or my skill feat, I should say, you can use your action to try to get uncanny insight about one humanoid you can see within 30 feet.
You can certainly try to do it.
Okay. Let's see here. Where can I go? 45. I can get to there. Never mind, he's too far. then I am going to use my Crimson Right on my Hunter Sword.
Okay, so dragging across the blood slides across the blade. What does it look like? Turns into flame.
As I draw it, it looks like it's as it's coming out of the sheet. As I draw it, I slice it across my arm, and so it looks like as I'm drawing it, it's just a flaming sword that ignites as like a match pulling from a box.
Okay, so just as that happens, that will bring us up to this creature, who is going to get right there. And from there, Kalvyn, you're the only one. He's going to, as well, reach back, grab the javelin, throw it at you at disadvantage. It should be high modifiers. That'll be a 19 to hit, Kalvyn.
You betcha.
Right, so that will be 12 piercing damage as it... as he throws this javelin, which is like spear size for most people, at a surprising rate of speed. You think it's almost being pushed by the wind at their backs. And that will bring us back up to you, Amsen.
All right, so let's try this again. I'm going to move ahead of now Meli, because she's there, up ahead of Meli and Vesper, and then I am going to cast Fairy Fire right on top of them. So both of the creatures need to make dexterity saving throws.
So the first one is a 12, minus 1, 11, and the second one is a 7.
Both fail.
All right. What color Fairy Fire dust do you use?
Purple. Because
purple,
Bard.
Okay. Because Bard. All right, perfect. So as you move forward, conjuring up this color once again in your hand, frustrated that they released that so early the last time, it releases forth, falling down, landing on both of them. They're unable to shake it.
Okay, and so that's my move. That's my move. That's my action, and I don't have anything really good for bonus actions right now, so that's my turn.
All right, and that will bring us up to Wink, who I'll say is still riding on Ball's back. And Wink, I'm going to say at this point, he's going to, still hearing the rumbling behind him, is going to go ahead and take a shot. With a 19, that should hit. 8 piercing, all right. So you see Ball as Wink is riding on you. That's actually a disadvantage, which should still hit. You see Wink riding on your shoulder, Ball, as he turns around, releases the arrow into the already wounded one, barely piercing into the hide. It's a pretty hardy creature, but that will then bring us up to the wounded one here, who is going to begin to shift around this weird weapon thing. And I'm going to see if he knows what weapons are, what magical weapons are.
If he knows what weapons are. I think him throwing the javelin suggests he knows what a weapon is.
He sees this glowing longbow and wielded by no one, and strangely, he is going to just run from it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Getting up to you, Kalvyn. And he is going to then rolls a 3, bringing his large club down towards you, Kalvyn. You jump to the sides. It cracks the ground. Snow flies up into the air, but you have just dodged out of its way. That will bring us up to Ellory as this one moves closer.
Okay. Can I get up next to where Meli is? Or next to Amsen? I think that might be too far.
If your strength is under 16, you won't be able to quite get there.
Okay.
I'll say you can get right next to Meli. You'd be pressed up against the wall, but you could get in that space.
Yeah, I will do that. Let me actually move that there. And from there, I'm going to cast Firebolt at the one in front of Kalvyn.
Okay, he's going to have some cover with Amsen there, but you should still be able to make the shot.
That's
He's a pretty
15.
large creature. Even with the bonus, that'll still hit. He's a large creature, easily able to fling it over Amsen's shoulder, slamming into its left shoulder, right between his shoulder and neck.
That's for 3 damage.
All right. So as this fire slams on it, there's a few leather straps that are hanging down that begin to singe just a bit. You see this creature starting to take some wear and tear, but it's still pretty hardy. Did you want to end your turn there? Is there anything else you wanted to do?
That is all I can do, so I'm going to stay where I am.
That brings us up to Vesper.
All right, so with my bonus action, I'm going to scoot the bow over here and attack this guy.
Go for it.
That is a 15.
That'll hit, and this narrow pass, the bow shifts over, draws back. Divine arc of energy.
7 force damage.
As the force drives into him, pushing him back about half a foot.
And then with my action, I'm going to toll the dead on the wounded one. So he's a wisdom save.
That is a natural 10. No, that is way less than that.
Yeah. And
he's not going to make it. So as you hear a loud humming sound that echoes through this narrow pass, pushing through the sound of the heavy winds, he takes
9 necrotic damage.
Damn, son. So the wounds from the arrow, from the fire, from the wounds he's taken from the rest of your party, those wounds suddenly begin to fester and rot as nasty oozing substances begin to proliferate in those areas. And anything else for you, Vesper?
I'm good.
That will bring us up to this guy. As you hear the... Now at this point, you see Wink on Ball's shoulder looking behind, and he's pointing in the distance as if any of you back couple, Kalvyn wouldn't be able to see, but the rest, you can see actually in the very distance, you can see as the stone is kind of cracking in a line, heading slowly towards your direction. And that will now bring us up to Ball.
I'll look to the party and say, we might want to keep moving. And then I will move 25 feet to here and try to attack this thing. Do we recognize what these things are? Besides them looking humanoid-like?
You've encountered something that looked vaguely like this on the cliffs of Navo, but these are much larger. You fought before half-ogres. These have the same sort of bone structure, size, and appearance of skin and hide, but much larger, twice the size.
Okay, so they're like...
Probably ogres.
Yeah, okay.
You haven't seen them before.
And then, so I'm going to pull up my steel greatsword and try to swing at this guy. And I think that's with advantage, right, because of fairy fire?
Yeah, currently he's a very easy target. He's big.
It's a 20.
That will hit.
For 9 slashing.
All right, as he's slashing, the blood that you draw is mixed in with the fairy fire purplish glittering dust. And did you want to stay there?
Yeah, that's going to be where I end my turn.
And that will bring us up to Meli.
I'm just going to Ray of Frost him again.
Okay, so I forgot to enforce this, but with the high winds, the ranged attacks, including Ray of Frost, will be at disadvantage, but you can certainly try to do so.
Okay.
But he's got fairy fire, so straight roll, right?
Yeah, straight roll. Correct. Thank you.
Okay.
Conjuring up the ice again, it again strikes through. Even with a bit of cover coming from Kalvyn and Ball, it's still not enough as you strike him with the ice. Dealing
8 damage.
8 damage as this thing embeds deep within its diaphragm. Like Gary, you hear heavy as it coughs out, as it pushes the air out. And that will bring us up to Kalvyn.
Well, it would be in poor taste not to take this opportunity to attack twice.
You can see the creature is bent over from the blow. He is not looking like he's going to last much longer.
Alright, well, let's see what one attack does first, and then see if I need to follow up. I'm just gonna... We'll see if it hits first. No, that's fine. I'll go ahead and choreograph it right now. I'm gonna kind of take a step back, and then kind of leap forward and kind of bring my primary arm down for a deep slashing.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't roll great. Of course I didn't.
Yeah, you also have advantage on the strike because of the fairy fire. Yeah, this glowing on his
I rolled. I got a 14.
Oh yeah, that's enough. He's a big creature, hard to miss him.
Okay. Make sure I got this right. That is 4 fire damage and 7 slashing. So a total 11.
Yeah, so as you take a step back, as it's bend over, you just come down, and towards the back of his head, along his neck, you hear the sickening, and you also hear Kalvyn, because you're close enough to it, you hear this of the blood boiling as you pull it out of the back of the skull, as that one slumps forward to its knees and then onto the ground in front of you.
Cool beans. Can I walk through it, or is that difficult terrain?
It'd be difficult terrain to walk over his body, but you can definitely just walk over it.
Okay, and then I'm going to use my Crimson Right again on my second blade for my bonus action.
Okay, so sliding that one across as well. Fire as well for that one?
Yeah. Yep. It's just gonna it's gonna look like a magician's trick where he kind of does a weird flourish and kind of just rubs it across his side and then like.
All right, with a little panache, you now have 2 flaming swords. As this creature, seeing this target, is going to move forward towards you. And he's going to step up and go right for you, grabbing the large tree trunk that serves as his weapon, and that's going to be 12.
No.
It swings it around horizontally, landing into the wall right to your left, shaking it as snow and rock comes loose. And that will bring us back up to Amsen. So you see in this narrow pass 1 ogre down, another one facing up against Kalvyn, and you hear the cracking of stone coming up from behind you.
All right. I'll move up to beside Ball, and then I will cast Vicious Mockery on the ogre ahead of me. So it needs to make a Wisdom saving throw.
That is a natural 15, bringing it to a 13.
Unfortunately, 13 is my DC, so it saves.
Oh, so it just barely saves. As you yell something at it, is too focused on smashing Kalvyn to bits to really listen to you. What else did you want to do?
I think that'll be it, actually.
All right, so moving forth, trying to gain its attention, but unable to wink, is at this point, he's going to go ahead and release one more. Actually, with his arrows running low, he's going to instead jump off Ball and withdraw his swords. I'm going to jump off and just move to the side here. And that will bring us up to this guy, dead, and to Ellory.
Let's see. I think what I'm going to do is, instead of flinging another firebolt, since I'm getting worried about that rumbling, I am going to dash up ahead of Amsen a little bit.
Okay, so 30 feet total moving forth. And was there anything else you want to do, Ellory?
That's all I can do.
All right, so just moving forth against the wind, struggling as fast as you can. That will bring us up to Vesper.
That's actually a really good idea. I think I'm also going to dash. And then bonus action, I'm going to scoot the spiritual weapon a little closer and go again.
Okay, go for it as the bow. Strings back, releasing.
It's a natural 18, so 23.
That will hit. With advantage as well.
Oh, right.
Just in case it crits.
It doesn't.
Okay.
That is 9 force damage.
9 as it lands into it again. It's starting to glance over at your weapon now, but it's still pretty focused on Kalvyn with the 2 flaming swords in front of it. Anything else for you, Vesper?
That'll do me.
As Vesper strikes with her spiritual weapon, you guys hear the suddenly come to silent stop for a moment here. And you hear just the wind whipping through before a few seconds later, coming out of the ground, bursting out this large creature, very wide claws, frontal appendages, this heavy, looks built like a tank creature, almost like a very large bear. You can see its skull is massive with a wide jaw, with strong mandible muscles. Its top of its head covered in what looks like some sort of, looks like plate armor. As it bursts out of the ground, looks forward. That is all I can do for now, but he will soon be in the fray. That will bring us up the ball.
I think I'll look to the party and I'll say, cool, I'll cover your back. And I'll take, I think I'll hold my action until, I guess everyone near me has moved past me, like more towards the north. Or if this bear-like creature reaches me.
Okay. Do you want to hold your action to do something, or you want to hold your turn?
I want to hold my turn, actually, yeah.
Okay, so we'll just take you out of initiative, and we'll drop you back in when it comes to it. That will bring us up to Meli. As you see this large beast burst out of the ground to the south below you in this narrow pass, there's still one ogre up in front of you.
I am going to cast grease in front of the thing that's just burst out the ground.
Okay, in its range or in front of it?
Yeah, like in its range. I can reach. Okay. It's a 10-foot thing. So.
Okay, yeah, okay. All right. So. And that is a dex save, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
That is an 11.
That fails.
Okay, as this grease conjures up, flying forth in front of it, it's taking the steps forward as it falls to the ground onto its side, is currently prone.
And then I'm going to cast Expeditious Retreat on myself, and then I'm going to run away.
Okay, is Expeditious Retreat a bonus action?
Yeah, so for my next bonus action, I'll be able to run further, but for now I'm just going to run 15 feet.
What level spell is Expeditious Retreat?
First level?
1 or 2? You can only do a cantrip and a first or higher level spell.
Oh, sorry. Then I won't do that. I'll just cast Grease, and then we'll walk away.
Walk away, okay. So have speed to move north down this narrow gap as the wind is still pushing pretty heavily. This creature is currently prone on the ground. That will bring us up to Kalvyn. As you hear the loud bursting and the roar coming from the creature behind you, the ogre is standing in front of you with a big club. What do you do?
I am going to attack twice the ogre in front of me. I'm going to slash at it in an X shape thingy, whatever.
Okay, at advantage because it is currently still glowing purple.
The first attack is a 14.
That'll hit.
Second attack is a 11.
That will just hit.
Holy moly, eel.
It's a big creature. You miss the vital areas, but you do strike into it somewhere.
That's 5 fire damage and 12 slashing. So 17 total.
All right, so striking in with an X-like fashion. The two weapons quick before you can even react to try to block it. You've already struck into it and preparing yourself. What else do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold steady.
Okay, that will bring us up to it as it kind of withdraws, looking at the wounds that are still licking with flames that you just struck. Do contrast. And it's going to bring that club and try to bring it down on you. That is a 23 to hit.
The Maledict.
You want to make him roll at a disadvantage?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see him bringing this great, huge club, this is just a tree trunk down on you. You see you're not quick enough to dodge it, but you lock eyes with the creature. And that will instead be a 16 to hit.
That's enough. Gosh.
Okay, still enough. Doesn't hit you quite where you thought it was going to hit. 13 bludgeoning damage as it slams down onto you. And then make a strength saving throw. As it into the side of your shoulder, you almost go spinning.
Dirty 20. No, 20.
Yeah.
21.
Okay, yeah, you almost go swinging, swirling to the ground, but you remain on your feet, pirouetting around to fix it once more. And
what language are they speaking?
Giant.
Oh.
You vaguely hear through the wind say something along the lines of "you insect," or something along the lines of him being food. And that will bring us up to Amsen.
Oh, sweet. This is great. Okay. Well, running away from the big gigantic thing behind us, because that doesn't look nice. I'll move 15 feet up towards Kalvyn and the ogre and the spiritual weapon. And I will try yet again to cast Vicious Mockery.
That time it is a 14, bringing it to a 12.
Yeah, that fails. So I am going to say, I would love to challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see that you are unarmed.
It doesn't understand your language, but it sees this half-elf's tiny creature move up to him and just insult him, obviously. He's a little frustrated by that.
And that's a 2 psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack.
It's trying to figure out what in the hell you said, and it's transfixed upon you. That will bring us up to Wink, who's going to regret taking out the short swords and is going to switch over to his longbow once again and is going to get a fire, even at disadvantage. Try to get a ranged hit.
Is it a straight roll because of fairy fire?
He's aiming at the creature to the south.
Oh, okay.
George had messaged me. I don't know if he told you the same thing. He wanted to use a banishing arrow on that thing.
Okay. Thank you for that. He draws back, releases, as the arrow hits the creature's center right between its eyes and just bounces off.
Is it disadvantage if it goes like down, or is it like disadvantage both ways?
Because it's not like a straight wind; it's kind of like whipping to the side.
Okay.
It's just kind of a difficult wind.
Cool.
But yeah, this arrow, as he draws back, it just slams against the thing and shatters against this apparently very thick armored creature, and that will bring us up to Ellory.
Okay, so I think I'm going to move 5 feet to start because I think I have a slightly better angle from there, and I'm going to cast Firebolt at the grease that Meli cast.
Okay, roll with disadvantage, but it's not super hard to hit.
Oh, that's an 8.
An 8. Okay. With that, the flames, you fling it forward as the fire goes just over the grease, and it almost hits the creature. But as he's on its side, prone on the ground, it flies over him, slamming into a wall in the distance behind, unable to hit anything.
Okay, then I'm going to take the rest of my movement to get up next to Amsen.
Okay, shifting up, moving forward. That is going to bring us up to the creature to the south of this narrow corridor. The one still partially covered in grease on the side. It kind of gets up, stands on its feet, and is beginning to move forward. And Meli, I believe, has to do something at some point. Let me see what it has to do.
Did Wink try to move away, or did Wink just kind of stay where he was?
I'll move him, thank you.
Okay.
A creature that enters or ends its turn there. Okay. So it is going to get up at half speed, and it's going to move forward. And then that. So it is going to stand to its feet, slowly onto the ground, almost dragging itself, clawing into the rock and dirt and earth, shifting forward. So the creature is going to continue and just slowly move into a gallop. It's not super fast, but about at this point from here, it leaps into the air, flying into the air, jumping over Wink, and is going to land right here. Ball, I need you to make a strength saving throw. Strength or dexterity saving throw. As it leaps into the air, landing partially on you.
16.
16. Okay, so you are not prone as the thing slams into you to the side. You take, though still, 5 bludgeoning damage. So it would have been 10, but reduced to 5 bludgeoning damage and 8 slashing damage as it launches into the air, partially landing on you, clawing into you with his left claw, slamming onto the ground next to you. You are not prone, but you are right there. Next to it. And that will be its turn. That will bring it up to you, Ball. As this creature almost land right on you, and it's right here in your space.
I didn't go after Ellory.
Okay, go ahead and go.
Sorry, just realized that. I was like, oh shit. Okay, well, let's see. I'm gonna scoot the spiritual weapon over here to us, now that this thing is here. And I'm gonna attack it with it.
Okay, go for it.
Which is a dirty 20.
That will hit.
Okay. For garbage damage for 5 force.
It strikes into this heavily armored creature, just barely making it past just the armor into the flesh beneath.
And then I'm going to toll the dead. So it's a wisdom on the creature that's on top of Ball.
Okay. That is a natural 8. That is not going to do it.
It's not.
As you all hear the noise spread out once more.
For 8 necrotic.
8 necrotic, okay. That tiny wound caused by the bow begins to fester beneath it. You see foam dripping out, dark blood dripping out of its mouth too. And these 2 tiny holes where its ears should be, as blood drips out of it. Anything else for your turn, Vesper?
No, I think I'm kind of stuck there, so.
Okay, that'll bring us up to it, and which it already went, and now to Ball.
Okay, So I will get up, and then when I get up, I guess I have to go into a valid space. Is that how that works here?
Yeah, and you never were actually knocked to the ground, but we'll say you were knocked to some adjacent square.
Okay.
Free of any movement. You can pick which one that is since you made your save.
Sure, I'll just move to the side there. And I guess I will just try to hit it.
Okay, bringing up your great sword.
Am I flanking technically?
You are, but it doesn't give any bonus, as it is kind of looking around between your weapon, you, and the large ball as well.
I don't think that's going to hit 11.
The 11, it scars across the armor, but it's like hitting thick steel plate mail, and it just kind of draws a jagged line across it, unable to penetrate through.
I'll look to the party and say, this doesn't look like it'll be easy, as I try to regain a grip on my steel greatsword.
Okay, and that will bring us up to you, Meli, as this thing landed right next to you. What do you do?
I'm going to reach over and just try and shocking grasp it.
Okay. Then rolls the lightning energy crackles in your fingertips, reaching forth.
14.
That will unfortunately not make you put your hands upon the creature. It's a huge, very large creature, and the lightning just kind of slams onto its back, but isn't able to find any cracks, any weaknesses in its defense. It's very heavily armored.
I'm going to stay there then.
Okay, staying there. That's going to bring us up to Kalvyn, as you hear a large thud of the landing creature and the rest of your group surrounding it. This ogre is still standing in front of you. What do you do?
I'm going to make an overly dramatic overhand swing and see how well that fares me. See if I can.
Okay. At advantage.
That's a natural 20.
Okay.
Okay, let's see here. Is this looking super damaged by any chance?
He's starting to look rough. With a good strike here and a really good strike the next one, you might be able to do it, but he's still looking pretty hardy.
Jesus. That's 4 fire damage and 10 slashing damage. 14 total.
Okay, so striking in, doing this strange flurry, this impressive, almost acrobatic in nature, as you bring it down onto the creature with the hunting sword. The flames drag along the jagged line, running from right up next to its ear, down by its throat, through its chest, and down several of its ribs. You can see the blood is profusely flowing now. It's still staining. You can see it's now kind of wobbling from side to side.
Okay, then I'll make a second attack.
Still at advantage because of the fairy fire.
Okay, and this will just be a thrust forward. Well, that's a 12. No, 13.
Okay. That'll both hit. Did you roll at advantage?
Yeah, I rolled a 2 and a 7.
Okay, you still strike the creature's too large to really dodge at this point as you just thrust forward simply. How much?
3 fire and 9 slashing.
That will do it. As you just strike forward into the unprotected gut, you strike forth about halfway into the blade as the large ogre grabs with his massive hands the rest of your blade as you slowly press it forth into it as it falls to its knees, still grabbing your weapon, and eventually it kind of slips down into the side. As it falls down to the ground, you release that blade from it. Turning over to look over your shoulder to see this massive armored creature on all fours, looking around at the party around you. Do you want to stay there?
I'm gonna move forward, or move back, I guess, technically to the group.
Okay.
But I don't want to go further than that, and I have to take a massive, heavy, deep breath and be like, I can do this. I can stay in this fight. Sure.
Okay, so after going toe-to-toe with this ogre, you turn around to see one more target at your feet as you turn around. Moving there, that guy's dead. He was up next. That will bring us up to Amsen.
How's Kalvyn looking health-wise? Is he wounded?
Severely, I would say. If we were to do like a range from like 1 to 34, he's down to a 1.
All right, seeing Kalvyn on the brink of having like broken bones and stuff, I'm gonna use my bonus action to drop a 2nd level healing word. Sadly, that's absolute crap. So you get 5 points of healing. I'm gonna move up 15 feet to the dead ogre. I'm gonna turn around and cast Vicious Mockery on the gigantic armored beast.
Okay. Wisdom save, natural 17.
Does it have like a -4?
It doesn't.
Oh, okay, so that saves.
Yeah, so the creature, unfazed by your movements, is kind of focused on Ball, who's tried to strike into it. And that will bring us up to Link, who, since he has a bit of range here, Wink is going to go ahead and take a few steps back and get away from this creature. And is going to go to strike it. With a 14, will not make it, as another arrow strikes into the side on the shoulder of the deltoid of its front left claw arm, just shattering against it. And that will bring us up to Ellory.
Okay, so I am going to attempt to cast Chaos Bolt. Oh. It's a natural 1.
Oh no. What happens on a natural 1? I'm so excited. Okay. Roll a 1d20 for me, just straight roll.
Okay. 19.
Okay. So the Chaos Bolt that you form in your hand, you begin to launch it forth towards the creature, and as you're pulling back, it suddenly just to the side and slams into the wall to your left, shattering off a rock. That seems to chill over an ice, break off, fall to the ground. As you see, each side of it is just molten lava before it cools. But you didn't hit any of you or your friends. Did you want to stay where you are?
No, I'm going to move up next to Amsen. Or move back next to Amsen.
Okay. So shifting back, trying to get some space in between. That will bring us up to Vesper, as you see the large creature.
Yeah, but I also see that Kalvyn is bleeding on everything. So I'm going to first level... trying to think. If I healing word, can I also use my spiritual weapon? Because they're both technically bonus actions.
You wouldn't be able to. You'd have to make a choice.
Well, fuck it. I will healing word Kalvyn. I'm just going to do first level because I need this other spell slot. Sorry.
Does the bow do it for you? Does it turn and shoot the healing arrows?
Yes, it absolutely does.
So instead of attacking with it, you turn it to the side, launching an arrow into Kalvyn that hits his wounds, healing him for...
Healing him for... 10.
10 as the radiant light kind of washes over some of your wounds, Kalvyn. And Vesper, for the rest of your turn?
I don't suppose I could cast anything else, huh?
You do a cantrip.
I will toll the dead on this giant crap.
Natural 14?
No, that'll do it, unless he has a -2.
He doesn't.
Okay.
As the creature just unaffected, not quite listening to you anymore, as you're focused on healing and not damage. That will bring us up to it, who is going to just take a step down and is going to go for a bite. This huge jaws just go to a sideways clamp towards Ball. That is a natural 17. That's a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
Oh boy, howdy. I forgot how much damage they did. 2. Oh my god.
I would like to cutting words that damage.
Okay, so that's 16 damage.
-3.
Okay, so 13 damage total to you, Ball.
Perfect, because I had 16 health.
16 damage. As it turns its massive jaws to the side, wraps forward and clamps onto you. You can feel the pain as the large teeth press through your chainmail in places, digging into your flesh. I rolled 3 1s on those 4 damage dice. So that with the cutting words from Amsen really helped. As the jaws release, The creature kind of begins to almost circle you like your prey, and that will bring us up to you, Ball.
I think I'll look to the party and I'll say, I think I have its attention. And I will cast Lay on Hands on myself. I accidentally just went out of roll 20. I'll cast it on myself for 9 health. And then with my bonus action, I'm going to do... sorry, I'm just waiting for this to reload. My bonus action, I'm going to cast a spell called Compelled Duel.
Okay.
So it's a wisdom saving throw.
That is a natural 15, so 15 total.
Okay, so then it won't do anything. And yeah, that'll be my turn then.
So you heal yourself some and try to conjure a magic spell to force it to engage with you further. That will bring us up to Meli. You are just behind the creature.
I'm going to try and shocking grasp it again.
Okay, go for it.
It doesn't seem to be bothered with me, so just going to keep trying to zap it. 15.
Again, the lightning goes across its back unaffected.
Then I'm just going to continue hiding behind its butt.
Awesome. Okay, so Meli, you cast the lightning across its back ineffectively. You do see the tail and the big hind legs is kind of shifting across the stone, and a tiny little tail that just kind of wiggles just a bit. And that will bring us up to Kalvyn.
Kalvyn is going to make a mad dash charge up on this thing and kind of do like a sideways flip and just kind of bring both swords down on whatever is right in front of him.
Okay, make attack rolls.
Okay. First one's a 16.
That'll miss as it across
Second
the
one's a
thick
16.
plate. Both of these strikes land heartily onto the thick thing, onto the thick plate and hide of the creature, unable to get through.
That was fun.
And that will bring us back up to Amsen as you see Kalvyn leap off of the dead body of the ogre right next to Ball, slamming onto the creature ineffectively.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Alright, so I'm gonna yell out, "We need to get out of here!" And I'm going to drop a healing word on Kalvyn. Let's just go with first level this time. Another 1, so that's another 4.
Still, some of the wounds do heal up a bit on Kalvyn.
And then I'm gonna shuffle back just a little tiny bit.
Okay, shifting back. Anything else for you?
Okay, it's still in range, so with my action, I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery again.
Okay. Natural 5, so that's not going to do it this time.
Buddy. So I'm going to say, "Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?"
You see the creature that's kind of engaged with Ball, lightning going around it, Kalvyn slamming into it ineffectively as it kind of looks over to you. And it kind of turns, scraping the stone beneath its claws towards you. It does take...
Yeah, it takes... That one's upside down, so I can't see it. That's 3 psychic damage, and has disadvantage on its next attack.
Okay. All right, so that will be the end of your turn, I believe, and it's going to bring us up to Wink, who's going to draw another arrow. He's starting to get low on these guys. And shoot it towards them at disadvantage. That is a 17. It will just miss as the arrow clangs into the armor, and it sticks in some of the thick, almost leathery hide beneath some of the plate, but it doesn't get all the way through. He's going to move, but that's going to get to Ellory.
Okay, I don't have a lot of confidence about being able to hit this thing, but I'm going to go for a firebolt.
So at disadvantage.
Great.
Because of the wind. As you conjure it up, the flames are almost extinguished, but you hold on to them as you fling it forward.
Oh, it's a 15, so...
As it hits the side of it, the flames just kind of wrap and roll over it like a wave against a mountain.
And then I'm going to move back next to Amsen.
Okay, and that's going to bring us up to Vesper.
Okay, so Ball is not looking great. I am going to channel divinity. And Kalvyn, you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I got a healing potion. Don't worry about me.
Okay, then I am going to give Ball all 10 points of preserve life.
Okay. What does this look like when you use this divinity?
So I have to present my holy symbol, so I grab the amulet around my neck, and it starts to glow, that, like, silver gold light. And I think maybe my eyes kind of glow that way as well. And then that wispy sort of magic kind of comes out and wraps around Ball and seals his wounds.
Okay, and so as that divine energy flows forth, you channeling it through your divine symbol. Are you going to stay there?
I'm actually, I am, but I'm going to use my bonus action to scoot the bow up and attack.
Okay, the bow moves forth, drawing back a divine arrow, releasing it forward.
No, that's a 10.
This even divine energy just kind of shatters against the thick outer hull of this creature.
And you know what? I am actually going to try and get out of here, even though it's an attack.
Okay. As it gets hit by this divine energy that doesn't quite make it all the way through, it looks over its shoulder towards it as you take that opportunity to run. It's going to try to strike you. That is a
disadvantage from vicious mockery.
Thank you. So that is a 13 or a 4, which is going to be 11 to hit.
Nope.
Okay,
I'm
so
good.
11 instead of a 20 to hit. So it would have struck, but you notice at the last moment as it's aiming towards you with this huge swipe of the paw, it looks and locks eyes with Amsen and just blindly strikes, and you just duck under it, keep moving.
All right, that's my turn.
All right, and that will bring us up to it, actually. And it is going to look over towards Amsen's eyes still locked with it, and it's going to look down and lift up into the air about 5 feet and then dive into the ground. You see as it, and within just a few seconds, it's underneath the ground. You can see the ground there. There's not a hole, but just collapsed rock. It just looks like rubble, churned rubble, as if there was a blender there. You hear a Vesper. As you're watching this, you see beneath your feet a crack form as it goes beyond, and coming out of the ground in front of Amsen and Ellory is going to go towards a bite for Amsen. Natural 1. As it strikes towards you, that's only an 8 as you quickly duck to the side, dancing around this creature who's starting to get frustrated.
As I dodge, I yell, "Suck it!"
Yelling, "Suck it," that will bring us up to Ball.
Did we get any attack of opportunities when it did that?
Yes, actually. So Kalvyn, Ball, and Meli could use their reaction to do attack of opportunity.
Hell see.
A 19 for Ball.
That'll hit for Ball.
Dirty 20.
That'll hit for Kalvyn.
8 slashing for Ball.
2 fire, 6 slashing, 8 total.
I'm guessing an 11 won't hit.
11 will not hit as you hit it with, I guess, your fist or whatever you have in your hand. And it actually hurts your hand more. It stings, so you kind of shake it out. But that is where the creature will end up, and that will bring us up to Ball.
Okay, I'm going to try this spell again. The Compelled Duel. So it's a Wisdom save.
Natural 17, unfortunately.
All right, never mind. And so then I'm going to run up my 25 and
towards the creature.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get its attention, so I'm going to try to grapple it.
Okay. So athletics check for you, and athletics for him as well.
It's a 17 for me?
It is only for a 9, actually, for him. As you grab onto its armor, sticking your fingers in the cracks between it, you seem like you have a hold on the creature.
Then I'll look to Amsen and Ellory and say, move. And that's where I'll end my turn.
All right. With Ball grabbing onto the creature, that will bring up to Meli.
Can I see it anywhere?
You can hear it to the north. Right in front of where Ball is, you can hear it. But it may be around a corner for you.
Okay. Then I will cast Expediency on myself now, and then head that way.
All right. A sudden speed surging through your legs. You're able to add that speed to you.
I have to use it as a bonus action, so I'll be able to do it next time.
Gotcha. Okay, so right now it should be 15 feet of movement, unless you dash. That'll add 15 more.
Yeah. Duh. Cool. That's my turn.
All right, so Meli, with your legs beginning the energy to surge forth through them to move quicker, you shift up. That brings us up to you, Kalvyn.
Well, I am going to run, I guess, up onto this dead body and kind of use its whatever lumps to jump off of it towards into this thing and kind of do that Brad Pitt, Troy, downward slash kind of, and with a follow-up hasty slash.
Go for it. So running up behind Ball, jumping onto the creature into the air, coming down.
17.
That'll miss. As you come down, with this point, you just you get about a half inch into the armor before it just gets stuck.
Yeah, the other one misses too.
The other one is almost, in frustration, you almost just slice it across, unable to get through this very thick armor. That will bring us up to Amsen, as you see Kalvyn almost on top of the creature being partially held by Ball.
Okay. I'll do what's safe. I'll use my action to disengage. 15, move 15 feet away. And then with my bonus action, I'm going to Healing Word Ball. For... Oh, hey, that's pretty good. 7.
Nice. I am at full health. Or I appear to be no worse for wear.
All right, since he moved back, Ball's wounds healing up. Anything else for your turn?
That is all 3 of my possible actions.
Okay, that will bring us up to Wink, who is too far away to really get a good shot off. There's a lot of cover. He's just going to run, get a better positioning. That will bring us up to Ellory.
I'm going to try to cast Shocking Grasp.
Okay.
And is there anything causing advantage or disadvantage at the moment?
No.
Okay. So that is a 17.
Unless it's, armored, right? Does it have metal on it?
It's armored, but not with metal. It's just thick, kind of like chitin-esque, or rhinoceros-esque kind of chitin armor. So unfortunately, the lightning, just as Meli has done several times, you put your hands on the creature, the lightning flows over, but is unable to find any penetration into his owner, into the flesh beneath. Do you stay there? Anything else?
So grappling doesn't stop it from being able to take attacks of opportunity, does it?
No, unfortunately.
No.
It just holds its movement in place.
Should have disengaged. I'm going to have to stay where I am just for now.
Okay, so staying there, as it does look over and notice you with the lightning as it hears the crackling across, and that will bring us up to Vesper.
Okay. Don't know if my bow can get over here. Cool. I'm going to move the bow up here, and then I am going to use my action to dash 30 and just kind of get in a better position. That's my turn.
Shifting around, moving the bow, that will bring us up to the creature, who is at this point is going to try to shift and try to move and feel its movement blocked by Ball. Is going to go for Ball. That is only an 8, which will bring it up to a 15 for you, Ball.
Oh, that won't hit.
Okay. As it goes to strike around you, you use your strength to hold the creature back as its large jaws are bearing down on you, but you hold it back, pushing it back onto the ground once more. That will bring us up to you. You still have one hand on the creature, grappling it.
Am I still able to, attack it?
At disadvantage with a two-handed weapon.
Okay. Otherwise, what are my... I'm not exactly clear. What are my options if it's grappled? What can I do?
So grappled, you're preventing its movement, so it can't move around, it can't burrow, it can't shift position. You can also, at half speed, drag it somewhere.
Okay. Can I try to, at half speed, basically swap positions with it? I just want to, take it and turn it. So, basically, more of us are facing towards the exit.
I'll say because you're strong enough to resist the wind, I'll say you can do that. So you can get into that spot. So that will use all of your movement, but you can shift and just turn it around, almost dragging it pressing it against the side of that wall as dust and snow are pressed forward as you release it onto the other side. You still have your hand on it, though.
Okay,
so and your action as well.
Oh, I do have my action. Then I will use my action to... So can I use my action, for example, here to dodge? and I still have it grappled, or does that act as me releasing it?
No, also you can take the dodge action as your action. And it will just be narrated as you kind of holding it at bay, making it hard for it to attack you.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to take the dodge action then.
Okay, so taking the dodge action is going to bring us up to Meli. His ball has this hand on this creature, holding it at bay away from him.
Can I cast Burning Hands?
You sure can. Do you want to aim it so just the creature gets that cone?
Yeah, I suppose I could try not frying ball.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. You're so nice.
The friendly lizard. Okay, so I believe that is a dex saving throw. Yep. That is a natural 9. Being held by ball, unable to shift effectively as the flames. You put your thumbs together, releasing flames forth, dealing some massive amount of damage.
8 damage to it.
As so many have been having difficulty penetrating its armor, the flames just roll over, burning and singeing at the cracks.
And then I'm gonna run away.
Okay, and then run away. Perfect. And as Meli shifts away, that will bring us up to you, Kalvyn.
Hackety hack.
Okay, hackety hack.
That's not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it either.
Okay, so just again against this heavy plate. Having a lot of difficulty trying to penetrate its armor. At this point, you all have kind of figured out the AC's around 18. This is equivalent to a heavy plated armored individual. And that will bring us up to Amsen. As you see the flames roar, you see Kalvyn striking Meli, moving back towards you. What do you do?
Well, I'm going to keep moving backwards. 5, 10, 15. Further up the pass.
Okay, pushing against the wind.
And then I'm going to use my action to viciously mock it again.
Okay, just going to yell at it and for sure natural 19 this time, as it's firmly looking towards Ball, who has it held in place.
I'm too far away and my words get lost in the wind kind of deal.
Okay, anything else for you?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, so as Amsen goes, that will bring us up to Link. 5, 10. Finally, Link has a shot, and he is going to take it. So he's running away on arrows. 16. Again, the arrow just shatters against the outer armor, unable to penetrate this thing. There's now a few broken shafts of arrows sticking out of the various hide and armor of this creature, unable to make penetration, and that will bring us to Ellory. I'll say penetration one more time for good measure, and Ellory, it is your turn.
Okay, seeing that Ball is in between me and the creature, and it's real hard to hit anyway, I am going to just dash up the passage.
Okay, so that's 15 plus 15, 30 feet total that you can push against the wind north in this narrow passage. Anything else for your bonus action?
Nope, nothing I can do.
That'll bring us up to Vesper.
All right, bonus action. Let's try to hit it with this weapon.
Okay, and I'll say, as you're striking with it, you have to put it in an adjacent square to where it is.
Oh, yes, okay.
And I'll just let you choose where you want it.
I'll just get it right back there.
All right, make an attack roll.
With the fan? No.
Okay. No, just straight roll.
Okay, well that was an 8 plus 5, so 13 is not going to do it.
Unfortunately, no. Again, just these attacks bouncing off of this heavily armored creature.
Okay, I'm going to try and Toll the Dead again.
Okay. Natural 1.
Hey. It's like a reverse crit, right? I still do. That is 11 necrotic.
11, jeez. You can see it actually, as it's being held back by Ball, it kind of and coughs up this large, coagulated loogie of blood. This dark black blood that falls onto the ground. It's starting to look a little hurt, but it's just hard to tell through all this armor that's keeping a lot of the damage at bay. At this point, being held by Ball, it is not like that, and it is going to try to break that grapple. So that is athletics versus your athletics, Ball.
All right. Let me get that going. Nat 20.
Okay, it rolled a 20, but not against that. So you feel it pull back and try to dig into the ground. You see it already has 2 claws and is dug about a foot into the ground, but you hold it, pull it back, keep it from moving. It is stuck in place. That was its turn. That will bring us up to you, Ball.
All right. So with my action, or actually, again, can I try to do something like knock it down to the ground?
Yeah.
Like
so
shove?
you have grapple. You can try to shove it, which is basically a grapple check. Shove it back 5 feet, or you can knock it prone where it currently is. You can also drag it. So you can certainly try to either knock it prone where it is or push it back 5 feet.
If I knock it prone, or if I try to shove it to the ground and I screw up, do I also lose the grapple?
I'll say you can still. I'll say yeah, because you're pushing it to the ground with the intention of releasing. Once it gets to the ground, you'll give up the grapple even if you do fail.
Okay,
try it.
Well, I will try, especially since it looks like all the squishies are kind of out of its range. I hope. And then I'm going to try to, knock it to the ground.
Okay, so make a athletics check.
24?
It rolls less than that, no. So as you shove it to the ground, this creature just kind of lands on its side, some of the stone cracking beneath its probably half-ton to a ton weight. As it's on its side, its underbelly, that is surprisingly well armored even for its underbelly, is presented to you. You still have your movement and bonus.
Can prone creatures do attack opportunities?
They can, but it's more difficult for them to strike because they're on the ground.
I will hold my position and I'll look to Kalvyn and say, now's your chance.
Okay.
And end my turn.
That will bring us up to Meli. You see the creature is on its side on the ground. You see Amsen and Ellory moving forth north on the narrow passage, Ball and Kalvyn standing up next to the creature. What do you do?
Me hitting it with something isn't going to, mess with that grapple, is it?
He's not actually grappled any longer, but he is on the ground prone.
Okay. Then I'm just going to throw a ray of frost at it and then run away.
Okay, so nonchalantly throw that ray of frost at disadvantage because of the wind. You can still certainly try.
Okay.
Conjuring the ice, slinging it forward. This ray of frost slamming. 23, yes.
No, it's an 8 because it was disadvantage.
Thank you so much. So what looks like a good strike as the lightning javelin slams into its right shoulder, almost penetrating into its armor. But you see it just coalescing on the outside, frost billowing up out, but you don't seem to have made any good penetration. You can then run away 15 feet, and that'll bring us up to Kalvyn. As you see the creature on its side, belly exposed. Ball told you to run. What do you do?
Ball's gonna look. Kalvyn's gonna look at Ball and say, "With you or not at all." And then he's gonna attack twice at the thing that's sitting there.
Okay, at advantage because it's currently prone on its side.
That's really good. Except 19 plus whatever. It's 25.
That'll hit.
And then 18. 19.
Both will hit.
Cool.
So you're finding the top armor much harder than the bottom, but you're able to penetrate the thick hide of its underbelly, dealing...
I've lost one of my dice. Oh, there it is. That's right. 3 fire damage and 18 slashing.
So this creature that was still looking pretty hardy, as you strike in with both your weapons, is starting to look a little rough. It's definitely taking some attacks, and these 2 strikes go deep into its underbelly. As you withdraw, you see the blood spurting out, and you actually see bubbles spurting with the blood. You know you've hit its lungs. You hear it coughing up blood spurting out with bubbles coming out as well. Do you stay there?
Oh, I want to shift over 1, but I'm saying, yeah.
Sure. Okay, so you shift over, and that will bring us up to Wink, who's going to try one more time. He's running real low on arrows, but hey, that's what you do when you're a arcane archer. 19, even at disadvantage, he does hit, dealing 5 piercing damage, and he's going to make this the banishing arrow as per George's instructions. Let's see if I can find I don't think there's a save, but I want to make sure. Yeah, okay. So as you strike into it, shifting over, you hear as on its side the short bow strikes into it, and you see there's as you see arcane energy in blues and purples igniting runes along the arrow, and once it gets to the end where the feathering is, it suddenly bursts, and like a black hole-like form conjures where the arrow disperses, pulling in the bullet's form as it disappears. Wink will then basically run as fast as he can, which is that fast. That's going to bring us up to one round, basically with all of y'all. What did you want to do?
Run?
Running sounds great,
Then
yeah.
grab Wink and run.
What are you talking about? We just defeated the monster. We're set.
Yeah, I'm running.
Okay, so y'all kind of have like just a few seconds to decide what you're doing. So if you're going to run, you can run. If not, you can stay. Just looking around to each other to decide.
I'll reach out my hand to Wink so that way I can pick him up again. And as soon as I'll
grab
him,
Wink.
Okay.
You head on.
All right, so then I'll use my action to dash.
Okay, so y'all basically run away. Kalvyn, are you running as well?
Oh, well, yeah, I assumed I would have to grab Wink, because I didn't think he could move that fucking fast.
No, you're right. So he tries to waddle up to you as you kind of move towards him, grab him, and then you begin to run.
Yeah, I got 45 speed. I don't know how far that will get me.
You can kind of get to the back of the pack as the group is moving forward. Behind you, you hear, just a few seconds later, you hear this loud pop sound as you see behind the creature appearing on its side once again, kind of churning its feet in the air, slowly getting to its feet, looking around before it begins digging into the ground, disappearing beneath. You'll run forward as you're running for 30 seconds, a minute. You stop hearing the rumbling behind you, and the wind that's making this travel difficult suddenly stops. There's still a slight wind that breezes through just sort of naturally, but the intense wind that was making it very difficult to travel suddenly stops as you're heading up the hill in this narrow crevice. And as you are walking along, we're going to take a short break here, and we'll come right back.
Next time on Back to the Story.
And as it lifts it up to eye level, you can see through the apple into the ethereal.
I'll eat the apple. I don't want to fight. Who are you?
A few mostly rotten bodies, 3 bodies that are hanging onto the spikes. It looks like their skull has been impaled.